which is only not one of you. But this is very similar to how all the machines are set up. These are even similar to how the machines are set up for your main control room. All we did is we turned around and we installed the ISQ service on the control, this one, control 1 and 2, and have set it up to be used with the, to actually be used with the new control room. The 24/7 news one down there at the bottom does not have any ISQ stuff on it, because that's either going to be delete control, or that's what you're going to be using your election software with, the you know, Leader Plus stuff. So that will never have any stuff on it, and that will never be in the Cameo world. This box up here has been set up, and I believe Rob Crawford's adding it into the Cameo system. I don't think he's done it yet, but he's going to. And then what I did is I just went through and installed the ISQ service software on it and made sure the machine was set up. So ideally what you have, just like all these boxes, we have two pieces of software on each box. We have the Lyric graphics software for playback and creation. And that's just launched from this little XML Lyric icon. Now, you would use just the Lyric software if you were manually playing back stuff. If you were just sitting in front of a console, typing in numbers, pulling up graphics and sending it to the output. In this particular case, this machine would probably never ever be used in this fashion. This machine, there's probably less than 0.5% chance that anybody will ever be manually controlling this machine from this software. Well, the software that will be running the other 99.5% of the time will be the ISQ service software right here. Now, the ISQ service software is going to do two things. It's going to be software, it also will launch the Lyric software, but at the same time, it will also launch the ISQ service. So this does two things for us. The first thing is it launches the intelligent interface setup, which is what will allow it to connect to the overdrive system upstairs. The only time, for what I understand, that this box is supposed to be in use is when you're doing a live production from the non-stop control room upstairs. So it'd be 2 channels of graphics that it can just be used for any live production you might do out of that room. When it's being used in that nature, it will be used via overdrive, will be controlling the box. So there are 2 things that get turned on when you have the software running. Now this is the same case for your other 2 boxes down here too. This is the same case for the boxes in the other control room as well. So you'll have intelligent interface turned on and also an enable telnet. Now what that's doing is allowing the overdrive system to be able to control the box. So if you ever launch the software and overdrive was like, I don't see it, it's going to be one of 2 things. Either one, your control box down here is going to have gone a little wacko on it. What the control boxes are for is they're a converter from using an internet connection to a DB9 COM port connection. And that's how overdrive is controlling these 2 particular systems right now. Now, you should eventually have a similar installation for this box too. It's probably just not done yet, is what I'm assuming. Because I believe there should only be 1 network card in this box. And if there's only 1 network port in this box, then the overdrive software doesn't have a way of communicating with it. Does that all make sense to you back there? Okay. So, as I mentioned, you'll probably be doing a similar setup for this box, because there should only be 1 network card in this box. Now, 1 network card is on the Cameo network, But all the Cameo stuff and all the playout devices are not on the same network as the overdrive stuff. So unfortunately, there's no way for the overdrive to communicate via the Ethernet. So that's why you guys ended up going with these control boxes, converting it to DB9. So as long as these are turned on, enable both ports and enable Telnet, you will have communication with the overdrive system. Again, that's accessed via the config menu and intelligent interface. Now you got to be kind of careful because the intelligent interface stuff is saved in user profiles, and if somebody creates a user profile on the box and they had II turned off when they save the user profile, when they load that user profile, turn II off. So in time, and I'm assuming that the folks down at Artworks are going to make sure this is all in check, because I have not been told to do anything like that. But they're going to provide you with a profile that should have II already enabled and all that. And that profile, once loaded on the machine, should then just kind of set Lyric up the way it's supposed to be.
All right, say it one more time.
So you can have profiles in the software, and if the II, the intelligent interface, is not turned on in a profile and that profile is loaded, it will in fact turn II off if it's already been on. So the Artworks folks should be creating profiles for these boxes, or a profile for the box, and once that's implemented, hopefully they will have II turned on in it, and then everything should be okay. So
in the event you see you have problems with a particular profile, you know that II wasn't turned on.
If again, that's overdrive not communicating with the box specifically. Now we do have a happy little box down here at the bottom. See that? It says II-D.
Yeah.
What that means is intelligent interface is turned on, and it's also running on both ports, and it's also running for Telnet as well. So if that's grayed out, II is off.
Okay, so that's a quick check.
Yeah.
So grayed out.
That's all you have to look at.
You have to go back and check those two boxes.
Yeah, there's only going to be really, with the overdrive stuff, there's only going to be really two things that can go wrong with that for them not talking to the boxes. Either one, your control box went a little wacko. 90% of the time that's solved by just turning it off and back on. Or somehow somebody turned off your IO. Excuse me.
So that's just unplug and plug, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then pretty much everything else is going to be handled by overdrive. It doesn't have to be in a particular directory. It doesn't really have to be running in a particular state or anything like that, because overdrive, when it calls up a graphic, sends the entire path and calls up the graphics. So it doesn't, Lyric otherwise doesn't really have to be in any particular state.
So when you power up the COM boxes,
how
does that affect anything else? Do you have to reset the software or close out?
No, but you probably, since overdrive is communicating with the control box via Ethernet, it has built-in, what do you call those things?
Attention.
What was that?
Attention or
well,
checking to see.
Error checking, error control is kind of built into it. So if it doesn't find anything there, it won't necessarily whack out the overdrive stuff. It'll just say offline or disconnected or something like that. But as soon as you turn it back on, after a few moments, it should resynchronize with the box, and then it should be like, oh, it's back online. Worst case scenario, you just have to just shut down the overdrive software, restart it, and then it should come back online by itself. Okay. Now that's not the overdrive server, literally just the overdrive software, because that's what controls that connectivity. And then on the Lyric side of things, since it's theoretically always synced to the control box, should be okay, but you might have to restart Lyric. It just depends. It's kind of like one of those things, you may or may not. 50-50.
Not Lyric by itself, because
correct. The ISQ service.
So
that's correct.
ISQ services.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah, you want to launch the ISQ service. That's really the only one you'll ever be launching in theory. So what we've done though, since we've started it up from the ISQ icon, we've actually done two things. We have launched both the ISQ service, and also now that the II is running, it can communicate with an overdrive system. Now, if you were to shut down the system so you could restart it, or if you just need to close out the software, you don't do it from up here. You use the little ISQ icon down here. So if you hover over that, it will say ISQ service. You guys trying to out iPhone each other?
No, I'm taking pictures and
Goodbye
taking
this
video.
afternoon. See, you don't even, my Droid don't even work that good, so.
HD video,
Oh yeah?
720p. Yeah.
So when you want to shut it down, you just hover over the ISQ icon, you right click, and you go to shut down server.
Oh, okay.
Now this isn't going to shut down the machine, it's just going to shut down the ISQ software.
Is it going to sit down there?
Yes, it will. Yep. We're going to do it right now. Click yes, and it shuts down. Now once that's shut down, when it's time to restart it, you can just double click it. Give it about 5 seconds, you know, shut it down, count to 5, and then restart it. You should be okay. If you try to restart it a little too fast, you'll get a little pop-up saying lyrics still running, which...
So the KVM, what is the name of, we're on this box here?
Yes.
What is the name of this box?
This one's Control 1, 1, and 2.
Okay.
And then the regular ones are Chiron 1, 2, 3, 4. That's for the MBC4 control room. Yep. But pretty much that's all you have to do on the box end of things. Those are really the only things to troubleshoot. And if the ISQ system can't talk to it, again, either A, the service hasn't been started, or B, you've lost network connectivity to the box. That's really the only two things going on there.
So with these consoles, these systems, fried cards, blown motherboards, does it ever happen?
Every now and then, but not often.
What's the turnaround for parts?
Overnight, unless it's the weekend. And then
Do they ship a whole box, or?
if it was something as big as a motherboard, yes, you would ship the box back to us and we'd ship you a loaner. And then we'd replace it at the factory. If it was just something like a video board or an output card or something like that, we just ship that to you and then you guys can swap it out. Yep. But that's pretty much it. So again, just for a quick review, overdrive, COM port, intelligent interface via your control boxes. ISQ, the service via Ethernet. And that's it.
Okay.
So now we'll go upstairs and we'll look at it from the viewer aspect of things.